What would you say if I told you that United Airlines domestic first class is actually good now? Hard to believe, I know, but stay with me here. What I'm about to show you is fairly convincing evidence that with the introduction of the all-new A321neo, things are a-changin'. In a good way, for once. Please. Flying any airline other than American or Southwest here at the Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport requires a bit of transfer time. They don't make this easy. What's up, everyone? It's Scott again, this time on a quick trip between Phoenix and Chicago on the United A321neo. Who really gives a crap, right? Actually, you're probably going to want to see this. Not only is the A321neo an all-new aircraft type for United, it features an all-new interior as well. In this video, I'm going to show you what first class is like, along with my unfiltered and perhaps controversial opinions. First conundrum of the day, I'm very early and I don't have the credentials to get into the United Club. Thankfully, there's an escape lounge located here in Terminal 3 that was willing to take me in. I can't say with any certainty that the food in the United Club would be better than this, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess. I know, I'm like the last airline reviewer on planet Earth to talk about this. United actually started flying the A321neo between Phoenix and Chicago a month and a half ago, and to be honest, I've been really anxious to try this out. Mostly because I've never been all that much of a fan of United domestic first class. I don't know, it's always felt a bit old school to me, so hopefully, fingers crossed, this will be something worth going out of my way for on future trips. It's gonna have to be really good though. So, here it is. This is my flight to Chicago this afternoon, an all-new Airbus A321neo looking fantastic in United's newest livery. More than anything, I'm just happy that it arrived on schedule. Booking a flight on any airline's newest toy is always a bit of a gamble, as there's always little bugs and gremlins to work out in the first few months, and I don't know, I don't want to jinx myself, but we might actually get out of here on time today. So far so good. Nothing is on fire, and the wings are still attached, so maybe they've got the A321neo all figured out by now. Things did get a little bit interesting as they started the boarding process, though. The gate agents announced that there would only be 92 passengers aboard today's flight, so they encouraged everyone to spread out and get comfortable. Interesting. I would have assumed that this would be the hottest and most in-demand flight between Phoenix and Chicago today, but what do I know? If anything, this was yet another reminder that maybe most travelers don't care about aircraft type. Something I'll fully never understand. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the future. Actually, I'm kind of surprised that they stuck with the old beige and blue color scheme. This massive 13-inch 4K video screen is all new though, and I can't wait to try this out. Underseat storage space, though? Well, either I've packed too much for this trip, or it's a little less than it is on other aircraft. The adjustable headrests look pretty good, and having power outlets and the remote control for the video entertainment system here in the armrest works pretty well. There are USB-A and C ports beneath the adjustable video screen as well, so right off the bat, this feels like a slightly modified version of the existing United domestic first class product. The dividers between the seats are a nice touch as well. At least they'll keep my cooties from spreading. So yeah, this is pretty nice. Not quite as nice as the all-new Delta A321neo first class seat, but a solid step in the right direction, I think. This gives me the impression that United actually cares about their domestic first class passengers. Except for the annoying ones who have the gall to utilize the underseat storage space. Not only did United promise a gate departure of 1:50 p.m., they actually delivered on it. I consider that a total win for a flight on an all-new aircraft type, especially considering that the weather at O'Hare hadn't really been all that great recently. It wasn't supposed to go this smoothly, but I was happy to take it considering that I really needed to get to Chicago to position myself for a flight to Europe the next day. For those of you who may be curious about the flights that I take, I highly recommend keeping an eye on my flight log. I post everything there in near real time, and it's a really good way to find out what airline reviews I have coming up next. Just go to SANspotter.com/myflightlog, and, well, hopefully you'll be as excited as I am about what I've got coming up next. Scheduled flying time over to Chicago today is a relatively short 3 hours. And on a completely unrelated note, apparently Phoenix ends abruptly. I had no idea. 3 hours is going to be just the right amount of time that I'll need to show you all the quirks and features of these new first-class seats. Starting with the video entertainment system. As I mentioned earlier, these are all new video screens for United. They're massive, 13 inches, with 4K resolution, pretty much the exact opposite of what you'll find on older United aircraft such as the 737-800 and 900. It's an all-new UI as well. At least I think it is, because there are some personalization and customization settings I've not noticed before on other United aircraft. The selection of TV shows and movies is excellent, as always, but perhaps my only real criticism of these screens is how glossy they are. My screen was also gunked up with some sort of a sticky substance, which obviously didn't kill me, but it was a little annoying. Oh, I'm a really big fan of the Bluetooth headphone pairing as well. It worked pretty good. Hardly any noticeable latency at all. Also worth noting is this convenient wired remote control with a built-in trackpad to navigate the screen. It was the obvious solution to the sticky screen problem, if only I was intelligent enough to realize it. Opening up my tray table at the beginning of the meal service revealed this handy device holder built right into it, which had my full attention right up until the moment when the drinks and snacks arrived. They serve full cans of soda and beer, by the way, something very few US airlines are doing anymore. Thanks, United. For lunch, I went with the cheesy pasta. I actually pre-ordered this, and it ended up looking pretty good, especially whatever this dessert is. I didn't regret my decision at all. It is worth noting that they didn't hand out hot towels or sanitizing hand wipes prior to the meal service, so choosing a dish that didn't require the use of my hands ended up working pretty well in my favor, I think. I say again, that screen was nasty. But you want to know what wasn't nasty? This dessert. I still have no idea what it was actually, but yeah, it was a solid 10 out of 10. And honestly, I think this whole meal was pretty darn good. Both Delta and American Airlines serve better domestic first-class food in my opinion, but I have to give United credit for at least trying. They're getting there. Okay, now that the lunch service is complete, let's talk about what really matters. Are these A321neo first-class seats better than the first-class seats you'll find on other United aircraft at the moment? Well, sort of. I think my biggest gripe with the seats themselves is the underseat storage space, which admittedly won't be a big deal for anyone who never puts anything under the seat in front of them anyway. It's a good seat, but nothing revolutionary. What is noticeably better is the first-class lavatory. No, it's not any bigger than the others, but it definitely feels and looks fresh. Which is exactly the kind of lavatory you want to have access to when you suddenly feel the urge to get up and go. With over 121 A321neos coming to the United Airlines fleet over the coming years, It won't be long until you'll have a really hard time avoiding one of these things. 10 years from now, if you fly United Airlines, at least domestically, your only two choices will likely be a Boeing 737 MAX or an Airbus A321neo. Whether we like it or not, what you just saw represents the United Airlines domestic first-class experience for the foreseeable future. Are we good with that? I guess I am. Sort of. JetBlue Mint is still light years better than this. Delta's all-new domestic first-class seat is arguably a little better than this. United doesn't have to worry about American Airlines, though. Their newest first-class domestic seats are nowhere near this good. For now, anyway. The bottom line is that United Airlines is making progress, and that's a good thing. I still think they have a long way to go when it comes to meals and onboard service, but this flight to Chicago today was easily my best ever United domestic first-class experience. Be sure to read my full review of this flight over on SANspotter.com if you want even more detailed information. I tend to go a little bit crazy with my written reviews, so that is the place to go if you just can't get enough of the United A321neo, I guess. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.